you were clear, you took responsibility, and you gave a solution. What does this do? It also makes them start thinking, okay, go ahead and invest in yourself. But when you're investing in yourself, they start realizing, okay, I can kind of see what you mean. You were over investing because now I can really see the difference, right? It's not like you're giving them the silent treatment or punishing them. You're just saying, this is a little much for me. Let me back off a little bit. They see that gap and they think, oh, you were over investing. In order for me to get that back as the avoidant, right? In order for me to get back your love and your care the same way it used to be, it means that I have to invest a little bit. And so they will start doing that, okay? The next one is put effort into changing the dynamic on your end, regardless of what you said you want to change. Regardless of that specific thing you want to change. Maybe you said the silent treatment, but that's not all you want to fix. You want to fix other things. You want to focus on your hobbies. You want to focus on your friends. You want to invest in other things that gives you the opportunity to be a better version of yourself. And so what's actually happening is you're not just changing that one thing. You're changing yourself. Doesn't mean you're backing off from them. But why does this help regain yourself? What starts happening is the avoidant gets two things that hit them. Whether they're going to admit it or not, that's another thing. They will eventually, though. Promise you they will. They start thinking, okay, I kind of miss the way you used to be, but I can't get that anymore because you're changing, and you're changing because of something I did and something that you think is healthy. Not that they're blamed, but that's what relationships are. You guys work together, and one thing a person does affects the other. And so you were giving the silent treatment, right? But part of the reason you were, this is just an example, is because they weren't giving you enough. You didn't feel like it was enough. And so you took responsibility, but you also accepted why. I gave the silent treatment. That's on me. I should work on communicating better. But the reason why I did that is overinvesting, right? We talked about that. And so this is just an example. And so you're working on other things as well. And they start realizing, oh, it wasn't just overinvesting in the silent treatment. It's also that you were giving me, maybe you were cooking me all your meals and I never said thank you. Maybe you always showed up on time and I always showed up late, the avoidant, right? They start realizing you did a lot and you're changing and taking responsibility. Maybe I need to take responsibility too. I respect that you take responsibility this easily. Let's say the avoidant, realize I don't do that. Maybe that's something I want to do too. The third one is you speak for your own opinions instead of bend to theirs. Many of you do not struggle with this. And so I will just talk on it briefly just because every call I've had with you guys, unless you do, I've told you. But if I didn't tell you, you don't. You're fine. Bending over to match the opinions of others, what happens is your true version gets lost and they have a hard time respecting you because you're not even in the equation. All that I would like, if you want to do, is speak of your own opinions because then you, the real you, let's say your name's Jason, just an example, okay? Jason is not there anymore, right? He is hidden. His opinion is not there. Someone else's opinion is there. Everyone's opinion is there. Jason is not there. He's copying Lucy's opinion, let's just say. Lucy's his girlfriend, let's just say. He copies Lucy, and he says that because he thinks, okay, my opinion, Jason's not important. I put Lucy on a pedestal. Let me give her opinion, and let me just agree to her. But what happens is Lucy is talking to Lucy. She's not getting connection to you because Jason's not there. And so what helps is if you give your own opinion, she can say, oh, this is Jason. I don't always agree with Jason, but I know who he is. I respect that, okay? And this is not just male and female. It can work either way. You could be Lucy and Lucy's the one hiding, right? And Jason is the one that you're bending opinions to. It doesn't matter. Just an example, okay? The next one is when they tell you something that they don't like, communicate respectfully, showing emotional regulation and understanding. Maybe they say, you're a little much. Instead of saying, no, you're a little much, or you don't know anything, or you're always, too critical, you can say, I appreciate that perspective. You can even say, can you let me know some examples so that I can adjust it? You took that well. And not just well, you took it emotionally regulated and with accountability. This helps a lot of people to respect you, right? It's very hard to respect someone that is always a defensive, right? And we all struggle with this, right? This is human nature, but it allows you to show up as a better version for yourself and you start respecting yourself more. The next one is you lean into things outside of them. You start leaning into your hobbies. You start leaning into the things you absolutely love in life, right? Your friends, your hobbies, Maybe you're trying out a new volunteer opportunity. Maybe you're trying to apply for new jobs. Whatever it is, you're starting to get out there, building new skills. And you start realizing that you do like the version you are. Because a lot of people who do this or who struggle with this, part of it is they don't like who they are. And it makes me sad to say that because you guys are all great people. But sometimes you just don't think that you deserve the time and effort it takes to enjoy, honestly. And so I want you to do that. So that is the next one. The sixth one is begin communicating more directly. I don't like that. I like this. I appreciate that you did this, but maybe next time we could do A, B, and C.